You will soon hear a podcast episode with FIDE master Tarik Selbes. Tarik is an old friend of mine. He's a chess coach, a FIDE master who recently completed his third norm for international master at the age of 40. We had a deep dive with Tarik Selbes on 14-year-old Turkish prodigy Yağız Kaan Erdoğmuş. Many think that he might have a potential to become a world champion. Magnus says he's the best ever 14-year-old that ever played the game. We touched on so many things with Tarik Selbes today. Tarik worked as a translator for Yağız's Russian trainer, Evgeny Romanov. He had some nice anecdotes and observations during those training camps, and he dissected Yağız's game and showed us how he improved over time. This will be an interactive lesson. Tarik tested me with some instructive games in Yağız's practice to highlight some of his strengths as well as weaknesses as a budding prodigy. We touched on so many interesting topics today. Namely, how Yağız improved as a kid, what separated him from his peers, his amazing calculation skills, and how he improved on calculation, the impact of Evgeny Romanov on his chess improvement, potential impact of the rising chess education and culture in Turkey on Yağız's improvement, the role of chess psychology in determining whether Yağız will become a world champion or not, definition of talent in chess, and if it correlates and operates together with training, hard work, as well as environmental support. The role of chess books and chess classics on our improvement as 40-year-old old men versus how kids are training these days, and personal adult improvement story of Tarık himself, who recently got his final international master norm at the age of 40. Fantastic episode is waiting for you, but please be active while watching this video. Stop at some key moments and think together with me on the puzzles Tarık tested us on Kaan's games. Enjoy. Welcome once again, everybody. Today I'm so excited to a very special guest, my old friend from Turkey, FIDE master, chess trainer, Tarik Selbes. A warm welcome to the podcast, dear friend.
Hi, John, and hi to everyone. So I'm honored to be as a guest to your podcast. And we have been like friends for a long time, but
Long time.
the first time we do an online broadcast and podcast together. So
Yes. Tarık, it feels so strange to talk English with you, because we are so used to speaking Turkish all the time, like across all these years. And I mean, you're an excellent speaker yourself. You give lessons in English to most of your students. And so Yağız Kaan episode will be shining with you, Tarık. Although I also would like to invite you separately because you're an adult improver yourself. You recently got your final international master norm at the age of 40, if I'm not wrong, Tarık. So you're an inspiration for us improvers. Actually, perfect for my audience on YouTube. So that itself, I think, will take a special episode for you. Maybe we can do it once again. But when we have talked about Yağız Kaan Erdoğmuş today with you, because you witnessed his training, you were the translator to his Russian coach, maybe around 1 year in Bursa. I also want to connect to adult improvers / kids development in chess. And you're a perfect guest also for this, because you're a coach yourself, you've been going through all the struggles yourself as an adult, and you witnessed how quickly some kids improve. So it's also the final reason why I invited you, Tarık, to this episode. So warm welcome once again.
thank you. Yeah, I would like to share my experiences also, like working with Yağız. Yeah, so I mean, I was just a translator there, but I witnessed how he worked and how his approach to chess is. And also, I have students myself, so I coached a lot of young kids as well as adults. So I always notice the differences, etc. So I would like to share my experiences with you. And the
questions are coming on that round, my friend. So as I said, Tarık, warm welcome. Today we will deeply dive into Yağız Kaan Erdoğmuş, his chess profile, chess prodigy, future superstar, potentially world champion. Recently Nakamura and Carlsen praised him so nicely, right, in recent interviews. Carlsen says he's the best 14-year-old chess player ever play this game, and even Nakamura made a whole video about Yağız Kaan Erdoğmuş. So he's the prodigy. We have high expectations, of course, on him as Turkish citizens as well. So today I want to discuss how he improved his chess, what his training regimen looked like, and what separates him from his peers. And he will even show us some games from his past to see how he developed and he matured as a player across the years. Tarık, if you don't mind. What separates Yağız, do you think, from his peers or from the rest of the world? What makes him so special? Can you even identify a particular area, like could be a particular chess skill, calculation, memory? Because if you remember Carlsen, he was a very special kid. He remembered all the capitals in the world, municipality names in Norway. And Gukesh, for example, he never worked with the engines. So they were like, separating marks from the world champions. Can you point out something that separates Yağız from his peers?
Yeah, actually, Yağız did a lot of work. So at an early age, and mainly thanks to his father, because no kid will be willing to do so much work. So and he liked chess, so he learned chess. I think at kindergarten, so from his teacher there, and then he began to work on it. And the way he worked on it is mainly by playing a lot of games, but also by solving a lot of puzzles on Lichess, chess.com, chess tempo, etc. So, and he was actually the leader in the puzzle ratings, I think, on chess.com for some time. So, and his calculation skills were amazing already. Like we were working like at the end of 2022 and like for the first half of 2023. So I was acting as translator, as I said. And there I witnessed his calculation skills firsthand and how much he developed the skill himself by just solving these puzzles. And the amount of work he put into the solving was just amazing. Like he was solving hundreds of puzzles every day. And he was at such a level that whenever he sees some puzzle on chess.com, Lichess, like there was maybe 99% there was a chance that he saw the puzzle already, so he didn't need to solve it. He just remembered actually the solutions. So that was the amount of work he put into solving puzzles.
That's incredible. So you're talking about normal like Puzzle Rush or like Lichess puzzles or even chess tempo puzzles that trains this tactical vision mostly, right? So white to play and win kind of a puzzle, like win material kind of a puzzle. We are talking about tactical puzzles mostly when it comes to that, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. On Lichess, chess.com, usually there is like the way these puzzles are created is the algorithm is like there is one move which is like very much different in terms of engine evaluation from the rest. Yeah, so he needs to find this move in a sequence of moves. So the first move, yes, he needs to find, but the second move as well. Yeah, again, like the only moves on each position. So and you need to train yourself. So for example, when we solve sometimes puzzles, I also do myself. Yeah. So on Lichess, and I say, okay, this is the solution, and I just click on it, and then you realize that there is something. Yeah.
Right.
And you did wrong. So. But he got this discipline because of solving so many puzzles, and he never did wrong. So you just had this calculation discipline.
Because that was my question to you directly. Because we hear from many chess coaches that you're supposed to not play the first one that comes to mind, but you actually need to have the discipline to maybe even write down your full solution, full line, full lines with counterplay from your opponent and everything until the end, and only then you check the solution. You're telling me that he was already doing something like that.
Yeah, of course, because because when you solve actually on Lichess, chess.com, you have this rating, and if you do it wrong, you get punished. Yeah, so you get this feedback already. So I think it kind of helps if you solve these puzzles, and if you do wrong, that you get punished. So
you care.
Yeah, exactly. He cares more. Like doesn't do like casually like us, yeah. Or when we solve some book, yeah. So he, by the way, he solved also many puzzle books himself, as far as I know, like Ogard and stuff, yeah. So calculation.
Jacob Ogard's calculation books.
Yeah.
So you attribute his chess skills right now to mostly this calculation training, tactical vision, compared to other elements like positional chess, endgames, or opening work.
Yeah, exactly. Because even then, like when we started to work, I mean, when he was started to work with Evgeny Romanov, he was already 2300 player. As I said, it was 2022. So yeah, he was
He was only
11.
10. He was
Yeah,
like 10, 11.
10,
Yeah.
11
Wow.
kind of. And he was on the verge of becoming the youngest grandmaster ever. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was the goal at that point, which he unfortunately couldn't do. But we will maybe come to that, why
Yeah.
or how he couldn't become. But yeah, at that point, even in that time, like I could see that his calculation skills were, I mean, maybe at the level of 2700 or more.
Really?
Yeah, so yeah, you could easily notice. But he had some weaknesses in his play, of
Yeah.
course. So which I will also maybe show some
We are coming
examples.
there soon. Yes.
So it won't be just fanboyism of Yağız,
No.
but we will
No.
just try to. Our main goal is to show how you can improve in chess and how the improvement in chess is happening. Yeah, so this constant improvement and how his play has improved. We would like to show the development in Yağız's play as well.
We will surely show that. But I sort of agree in a way that he was getting instant feedback and he was doing lots of reps per day with good habits, you know, because that's what puzzle books give you directly. In terms of efficiency per time, you know, what you do in terms of training and the feedback you get, solving puzzles, weighted puzzles where you really care, you really take your time, might give you better feedback than you read, let's say, Zurich 1953, you know. We'll also discuss that, you know, like because we were training mostly from books in our days, at least personally, yeah. Because I was also a book nerd, as you are. Yeah, so we were really loving those books, all classics, my system. But if you really compare and contrast, you know, like Pareto principle, 80-20 rule, what would have the higher impact on your chess improvement per se? I agree that solving puzzles carefully might be a better bet for people out there. Yeah.
There are two aspects of chess. So one is the skills. Yeah. So the calculation is a skill you acquire by solving puzzles, by doing this kind of work. And there is also the knowledge. So the knowledge is opening preparation, the positional play, like which kind of moves are applicable in which kind of setups. So, and the skills versus knowledge. So that will probably, I will say 80% skills and 20% knowledge. So
right.
And knowledge doesn't need that much effort, I will say, because knowledge, you can just look at something and you see, yeah. So for example, you can learn an opening. I mean, it's an effort in itself, yeah. But it's easy to learn, yeah. You don't need to solve hundreds of puzzles for 2 years, let's say.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say 80% of your work should be acquiring the skills chess requires, and the 20% will be the knowledge. So if you work on the openings 2 hours and if you don't do any calculation training, then you are doing something very wrong, I will say.
Right. And you categorize calculation training mostly on the skill side of things. There are still patterns involved, by the way. Yeah, there are still issues that you can use from your knowledge base, let's say, when you look at a chess puzzle, right? Of course, there's still something that recurs and that connects to particular knowledge. Could be a loose piece, could be an alignment, for example. But when it comes to the actual skill of solving it with discipline, you know, identifying candidate moves and looking for the opponent's resources and finalizing it, evaluating it, that constitutes the skill part of chess. That is huge, of course. Would you also agree, by the way, that that's what separated Gukesh and maybe explain this becoming a world champion, basically?
Yeah, definitely. I will say there is I would maybe say Indian style of chess, which heavily is based on calculation. And they are just not afraid of getting any position. Yeah, so they can get maybe, I don't know, -2 or something. But they don't care. Yeah, so they just play the position, and they are they know that they will outcalculate their opponent at some point. So this is what they rely upon. Even if they don't play that well positionally, they can compensate for it with high calculation skills. So That's the like I would say the emphasis on calculation has become more in like recent years, but thanks to
Yeah.
these Indian players, I will say.
That brings back the memory of Ramesh, the famous Indian coach, and
Hmm.
his emphasis on calculation. He even wrote a very difficult book on chess calculation, as we
Exactly.
know.
Yeah.
It's quite tough. But in his training, he never moves the pieces. They look at the board, they visualize the consequences of moves. They never move a piece, but calculate in their heads, and only then they analyze. But okay, this was a great start, by the way, Tarak, and we'll now maybe move on to uh, maybe his work with Romanov, if you don't mind. Like when did he start working with Yağız? You were the translator to the Russian coach. What did a training day look like in practice? What were the weaknesses that he identified, and how did you fill those gaps? Let's say, did you use some Russian school of chess tools? Did you use some other tools, maybe some books or Chessable courses? Just tell us a bit about a typical training day during that time.
Well, I mean, we had two kinds of training. So some days, like we were training online, yeah. So we were just having some online classes, and the second kind of thing was we were having some camps on site. So Yağız is from Bursa, so we were going to Bursa for
Yeah.
these camps, so which were lasting like several days. And I can maybe, yeah, online classes you can maybe imagine, but maybe I can talk more about the camps
Yes.
which are on site. So actually, Evgeny has like Romanov. So he has some because he's a coach. He's been a coach, a successful coach himself for many years now, and he has worked with many students. So I can give some examples. Aryan Tarik, for example,
Yes.
that was one of his most famous students, and also the German players, Swane brothers, for
Yes.
example, and actually the German youth team, yeah, national team. He's the coach, and now also Israeli team, so where he's also coaching. So yeah, so he is this experienced coach, and he has established a kind of training course, which has I don't know tons of different of chapters, and so he kind of asked he used those positions from his from this course, let's say.
Yeah.
And but this training is not based on him explaining things, yeah. So they are just positions. So when the training starts, so he just sets up some position, and Yağız needs to find the solution there in that position. And if, of course, then the position is discussed. So between the coach and the student. But it's never like passive learning. So never like Evgeny explaining things, like setting up a position and explaining things. Yeah. So it's always active learning where Yağız tries to solve himself, and yeah, mostly solves, but there are also things which he cannot solve, and then Evgeny intervenes or makes some comment why this move should be preferred to the other one. So and this, yeah, I would say mostly based on this active learning approach. And what I appreciated about this, first of all, okay, I'm a translator, but I also a chess player. So
Of course.
first, when the camp started, so I was glad, yeah. So it was not like professional work for me. It was more like kind of work of love, yeah. So because I
Yes.
like to be in chess and to be working with like a chess prodigy and also a grandmaster like Romanov was kind of a blessing for me. But
Amazing.
I also needed to translate all the time. So at first I was kind of trying to solve the position myself at the same time translate. But then
Yeah.
after some time, yeah, so
It's
like
impossible.
the positions were really hard, yeah, they're really tough. So first of all, I have difficulty in solving those. And the second thing, I also need to translate. So, and at some point I gave up on, okay, so my main job is to translate, and I won't do any chess stuff. So I won't be thinking about any chess positions anymore. So, but yeah, so typically it's like more like seeing different positions and trying to solve those. And I appreciated that Evgeny Romanov, he tried to have some topics, but those are explained through positions which are kind of difficult to solve, and they also have always some calculation element behind. Yeah, so it's never like weak square, for example, and you need to find the menu, I don't know, knight d2, knight f1, knight d3, knight d5, something like that. So it's not never like that. Yeah, so this is already too easy for Yağız at that point. So
he was around 2,300 already, yeah, at that time.
Yeah, at that time, yeah, it was end of 2022, and I will say the first half of 2023, more or less, as far as I can remember. So that was the time.
And those positions were mostly strategic / calculation positions.
Yeah,
that he was choosing. Okay.
Yes, so there was, of course, some calculation elements all the time, but the way Romanov tried to develop Yağız was through showing him some strategical issues, because at that point he identified the weakness in his play as the positional play. So positional play was his weakness at that point, according to him. And also, it's like, we were working together, and yes, as I said, sometimes I was trying to solve the positions, or at some, I might be much weaker than Yağız, in calculation, etc. But in some positions, I am more experienced than him. So some positions, when Evgeny asks him, it was kind of obvious to me, the move. But it wasn't obvious to him at that point. So he was trying to find the solution through calculation. So there were like a couple of such moments where I was amazed that he doesn't see the correct move. So
amazing.
So that might be interesting to the audience, but
that's super interesting to me as a coach and a player. Yes.
So already, so that was the approach of Evgeny. So he tried to develop him through positional play.
And we'll also, of course, talk about maybe Dorfman's ideas of chess strategy and how to understand whether we should play dynamically or, let's say, more quietly positionally, because I think that's what separates Dorfman's school. Like, you read the situation, you see which side has better prospects in the long run. If nothing happens, let's say white is better, then black must play energetically, change the natural course of the game. Was it also that kind of training that Evgeny was giving?
Yes. Yes. So Dorfman was Romanov's coach for some time. So, and there are these Dorfmanists in chess world. So
yes.
For example, I think Chushelov himself, who has been the coach of Caruana, as far as I can remember, and many others in the elite play. So he says he developed a course called Strategic Training, and which he's he made a lot of elite players work through that course. And I will say Evgeny's course is probably something similar to that, but both Chushelov and Evgeny Romanov's approach is kind of Dorfmanist. So there is the static versus dynamic play, and when to approach the position statically and when to dynamically. If you want, I can share, for example, a position from Dorfman's.
For sure. We will talk about specific positions, guys. This will be an amazing episode. We will all improve as players. But that course, they built across the years by testing different people. They come across with some games and they store those positions, and that sort of led to a course. Mostly for strong players, I assume, that they give this course to.
Exactly, because Evgeny doesn't really work with beginners. So mostly he works with already, let's say, I would say, above 2,200 players mostly.
Maybe that will become a Chessable course one day or something. It's a secret.
I don't know if he would like to, if he will be willing to, but recently he made some courses. So on another platform, people can find his courses. So if they search, they can find the course, his courses on Marochi Bind, and there is one more course he made recently. So I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, since the result is affected for many players, it works. It must be an effective training method that he developed over time, which is not a surprise. But okay, so Dorfman's school of thought, instead of, let's say, Soviet school of training, we are talking about more like Dorfman style, following Dorfman's principles of static and dynamic chess. And did you see the effect of it in Yağız's games? Maybe we can even like talk about that, yeah? Like maybe showing some positions. Like, can you tell us how Yağız's game matured over time after his training? Can you attribute some of his training's impact on his decisions in
I
his
will
later
say
game, let's say?
now yeah, of course, I mean, I don't know how much this can be attributed to that work, yeah, but it will be hard to tell because these things are never like one-to-one matching stuff. So, but I will say his play has become much more positional recently. So, and yeah, this is probably first of all due to the work he has done with first with Romanov, then with his other coaches like Mehmet Yarov, for example. Now he's working with him, and also of course with experience. Of course, this also comes, yeah. So because positional play is main experience, so yes, you might no one knows at first where to put the pieces, yeah. So or how to play the position, but with time it comes. But I will say this static versus dynamic thing, yeah, this is kind of, yeah, I will say he already can change the gears in the position much better than before.
Right.
So, and when the position requires to play statically, he can do that now, and he can keep the position static, which maybe I will show in, for example, I remember in the game Vachier-Lagrave against like he beat him in his private
the recent private match,
friendly match, and so when he can play according to position, which he couldn't do before that well, so he wasn't that good in positional play. He was out calculating the opponents at some moments, and he was winning games like that. But his position play lacked before. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I hope that it had some impact on him, this work, so that my translation job was also kind of fruitful in the end.
Of course, I have no doubts about it whatsoever. You can maybe show us some of his games, before and after kind of an effect, and how he improved over time, Tarık, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, should I explain the Dorfman method to people?
Please.
Okay, I don't want to go into details of this method, of course, because if people want to go and like put some effort into it, you can acquire the book of Dorfman, The Method in Chess.
The Method in Chess. I read it twice already. It's a very interesting one for sure.
Yeah, of course, it's an kind of old book, yeah. So don't trust on analysis that much, but the idea kind of works. So the idea is that if you have it has disadvantage statically, then you have to play dynamically. And one of the things he kind of came up with is how to define the static advantage. And he says that the static advantage is can easily be understood in the following way: if one side can improve the position without depending on the other. So here, for example, white can, the way he explains, here white can just develop, the position can run on its course for white without black kind of doing anything. Yeah, so black can play bishop g2, knight f4, knight can come to d5, like castles. So white's position develops like freely. So black doesn't have such a development. Black's play is more dependent on white. So this is what Dorfman says, and that's why, because black is at a disadvantage statically, black needs to play dynamically, he says. So, and now he showed, this is a game he played himself. So he plays a5, and after knight f4, now he goes a4. So he just wants to mix up the position. And after knight takes a4, now he played knight e4, but after queen c1, actually the computer suggests, I think, rook takes. Sorry, here rook takes a4.
Wow.
And so Dorfman was maybe not a good student of Dorfman. So even more dynamically, by sacrificing the exchange. And then come knight e5, and here the main kind of idea is that bishop takes e5. Of course, if you will take, then the queens will get exchanged and the position will become dynamically, but the trick is knight e4.
Okay, bishop takes e5 to follow.
Yes, bishop takes e5, the king is weak, etc. So So this is the approach of Dorfman. So you at each position you need to identify who has the static advantage and who needs to play dynamically, or what should white do? Yeah, white should try to keep the position static himself.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and so this is the approach of Dorfman. And if you want to learn more about this method, go and see his courses, because he had some course in the past.
For Chess 24, they worked with Jan Gustafsson, right?
Yeah. Exactly. That's a very nice course. So I will, if this is found somewhere, I don't know now.
Yeah, now it's shut down, but yeah.
Please go and see that, or read the book, but always check with the engine. Yeah. So
yes,
if you're just don't consult old books without checking. Okay, so now I want to come to the how he was playing. So just around the time he started to work with Evgeny, yeah. So
yes,
these positions are from 22, 23, kind of, and so he was 11 kind of years old, 10, 11, but already very strong player. So already above 2300, close to 2400,
amazing.
And he was kind of. It was expected that he would become a very good player and possibly the youngest grandmaster ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, this position, I would like to ask you and our audience, what should black play? So the last move of white was knight a4. So how should black approach the position?
Okay, so this is a test for all of us, guys. Tarık will test us, the audience. You can stop video right now. So the idea is to find a good move for black, maybe the idea using Dorfman's principles, if I get it right. Yeah, from a strategic perspective, we need to evaluate who is better in the long run statically.
Not necessarily Dorfman. I will say it's positional play. Yeah. So
positional play.
What would you do?
Any move is fine here. Okay, let's discuss.
You can also
let's
explain
talk about
it through
this.
Dorfman, yeah. But
okay.
But just without even Dorfman, you should be able to say.
Okay. Yeah. My first instinct. Can I talk? Maybe I can give them more like. Maybe I can think out loud, Tarık.
Yeah, sure.
My first instinct is obviously e5 in this position, right? Because I have these beautiful pawns in the center of the board, and they are clamping on the white's minor pieces. You know, the knight on e2 will be really like buried after the pawn goes to e5, while also the bishop on b2 will be limited. Since we already pushed d4, mobile pawn center, it just makes perfect sense for me to just support the pawn by pushing e5 and also activating our c8 bishop, obviously. I'm just seeing whether white can do something against us, because c5 pawn is loose. Are there some tactics for white to maybe do something? I don't see it directly. So my first hunch is just to play e5. I mean, that's my first candidate, obviously, in this position, yeah? Like,
but okay, so for example here, because we have this clamping effect of this pawn in the center, and so white pieces are in this array, so knight went to a4, the bishop might be stuck here after e5, so knight on e2 doesn't go anywhere, so e5, obviously the most logical move, but so Yağız didn't approach the position like that in those years at least. So his play was always very concrete, and he also had some kind of, I would say, psychological weakness at that point, because of course he was a young child, and whenever he saw some opportunity to simplify, he had this tendencies, but not against under like those with lower rating, yeah. So but against a grandmaster like Ivanisevic.
He's playing against a stronger grandmaster right now.
So now he took.
He took. Wow. Okay, that's committal.
So this is of course a positional mistake. Yeah. So now after f takes e3, although even after d takes e3, I would say the position is better for white,
right?
Because you have fianchetto your bishop, and with such a kingside formation, if you change the bishops, if you exchange the bishops, now your king will be weaker. So, which is like as Dorfman will say. So, then you won't have this static disadvantage.
Static disadvantage because of long-term problems with king safety.
Exactly.
That's number one in his list. Yeah.
So that's one of the Dorfman's elements. So, and here, e5 also keeps the space advantage for black. So
yes.
And then the game, which it was lost in the end, even though there were some adventures. So it was already obvious that the king is very weak.
True.
I mean, there are of course other problems with the position, but the main problem is that the king is weak.
Yeah.
Okay,
So instructive.
so let's move to here. For example, here white to play. This time Yağız is white. And
So the first position, Tarek, was before he was working with Evgeny. Am I right? Like before
yes, so
his work.
it was 2022, I will say. So
Aha.
probably before, or maybe just at the start.
Just
So
at the start. Okay.
I'm not so sure now.
Yeah,
I
that was a super
actually
interesting position.
joined the work after a couple of sessions. Before me, they had probably some sessions also, but yeah, maybe for a month or something before me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
and
this is the second position, and Yağız with the white pieces.
Yeah, black played g6. So what would you do?
Super interesting once again. Okay. Let's see. You know, yeah, this is hard. This is hard. Let me see. I'll just think out loud. You know, in actual game, I might, of course, require more time, but just to tell you how I approach this intuitively, I would like to go h6 and have an alpha 0 pawn on h6. That will sort of leave the black king a little bit exposed. That pawn would maybe give us long-term chances on the king side. That's my first hunch. I mean, h takes g6, I don't see anything after bishop takes g6. Yeah, like that. So bishops might be traded off, and they're more or less securing their king side. h6, I mean, the argument for h takes g6 is that maybe you can go king g2, rook h1 to let's say, you know, attack the king side, but I don't see exactly how it functions for white. You know, I don't see much of an attack for white on the h file later on. Statically, obviously, e5 square is weak, and black can never play e5 themselves in this position. Because the d4 pawn is a weak pawn and needs some care, but maybe rook e1 later on to attack the weakness on e6. You know, we have some long-term potential against the pawn on e6. So I'm just understanding that maybe white has already a static advantage in this position, that you know, by playing h6, we sort of increase the clamp in the position, so to speak. Yeah, there are still so many minor pieces on the board. We have space. So again, that's how I probably approach this position. I'll just play h6 without much calculation and just claim that, you know, I'll take this position.
Dorfman would agree that here white would have a kind of static advantage because of the structure, mainly the pawn structure, and you are right. So white, for example, hg6. So this is a dynamic move according to Dorfman because it's changing. It's such exchange. So, and also changing the structure. So, and of course, it is wrong. This is the move in the game, by the way.
Oh, he took on g6.
Yeah,
okay.
and he lost the game after bishop g6, bishop h5. And
bishop h5 even.
so
Okay.
black now has the chance to play dynamically in the position. So you see, so there are things happening, but this dynamic play only kind of worked for black, and he later won the game. So here, so let me go back to that instance. So here, how to control the position. So a good way would have been bishop h6. So attacking the rook, and then after rook f7, we can go now hg, of course.
Okay.
And now, of course, bishop g7 and exchanging these guys is very good for me. So because now the dark squares are weak, and for my static advantage, it can be realized better if I get any dynamic potential out of black. Yeah. So here, after I exchange one bishop, now the position is much better for me. So I can, for example, what can white do? I can play king g2 in some position like this, rook h1. So white can also play for kind of an attack, but mainly we would like to keep the position side. Maybe queen will come to some dark square later. I don't know, queen d2, queen e3. Of course, it all depends on what black will do. But black is in desperate need of finding some dynamic counterplay. So white should have kept the thing simple. So these are the kind of little details. Of course, he was very good in calculation at that point, but these little details in his play was missing at that point. So here, the white played d3, for example. Yeah. So what do you think? black should play.
Okay, first instincts. Opposite color bishops favor the attacker. So I'm looking at the potential issues around the white king. It looks like my bishop is strongly placed if it comes to attacking potential, let's say, yeah? So in general, I want to keep the queens on the board for that reason. Just, just think out loud without analysis. I'm liking my bishop more than the white bishop. So more dynamism should be kept, I think. I don't want to just trade into an opposite color bishop endgame, obviously. I mean, there are moves like e3, of course, that should be checked. Does it favor me or white? If you go e3, for example, they can do whatever. They can even play f4 maybe, and the pawn is blocking my bishop. E takes d3 obviously is the other choice.
Yes, so what should we do actually? So it's like white will, if we don't do anything, white will just take the pawn.
Of course, so we have to either choose between e3 and e takes d3.
E3 or e takes d3, so what is the choice? What do you think?
Yeah, that's the key right now. And this involves obviously some calculation, like how white will react to e3.
Obviously, we can never do without calculation, so we should always do some calculation. That's why as its calculation is 80%. But there is also sometimes the positional understanding which would help you. So because we are, as human beings, we cannot calculate till
everything
the end. So and at some point you need to have this comparison, and you need to have this understanding and rely on that at some point. So this is where positional understanding comes into play. So things you cannot solve by calculation, but you will still have to make the correct decision somehow, and you need to justify it. So you need a justification for it. Should I play e takes d3 or e3? And now I would say e3 is a big positional mistake which will happen in the game. Because after f4, I mean the obvious move.
I saw this.
Now the bishop is
blunted.
blocked by the pawn. So and after rook c1, now the bishop also cannot move, and c7 is weak. So where is the counterplay of black? So a5, b5. Now this is locked in, and the bishop is locked here. So black doesn't have much counterplay anymore.
So he blunted his own bishop by playing e3. So that's the positional mistake, and which I saw, by the way. That this was hard for me. Like e3, obviously I'm expecting f4. But if he takes, I think queen takes, we can still take and maybe dominate the e-files. This is what I just came until this position. Let's say queen takes d3.
Let's say queen takes d3, and let's say it takes.
Then we dominate the open file. Rook e2 and so on.
Here black is better. Because
for sure
the bishop is better.
The bishop is excellent.
Has a target. Very good, important about the opposite color bishops is which bishop has targets. So here the dark squared bishop of black has this target, where the light squared bishop of white has no targets at all. It's just doing a defensive job here. So that will be very good for black actually. So anyway, so another kind of positional mistake, but because he was relying on heavy calculation, and he was not thinking about these kind of turns at that point that much. I'm not saying he was a weak player. I mean, probably he was also positionally, so I would say compared to a 2000 player, he already has had this positional understanding, but it was not at his level. So at the level he had in other fields of chess. But
by the way, all decisions mostly connect to pawn play and piece trade, queen trades, like long-term effects of his committal decisions so far, which is super interesting.
So I just try to find these kind of instances in his play just to kind of justify what I said. So I said that his positional play was a little bit lacking in those years, but he was already very good in calculation. So I just want to show you some. So this is a game he played against Kazakh player.
By the way, his rating is improving. Like we can see his rating,
you can see the rating. It's
becoming stronger.
83. Let me see the exact time of just to show. It was 23 August. So the question is, can you play bishop e3 in this position? So this is the question here. So what you should need to calculate?
Knight takes e4, obviously.
Knight takes e4, So what happens if knight takes e4? So
the idea is that we want to play the desirable move. Bishop e3 is desirable, but it looks like it can't be played. It's called Sam Shankland rule. Can we play it anyway?
Exactly. So and this kind of stuff he excels in. So this kind of calculation. So bishop
Right.
e3, and of course he needs to see knight takes e4. What
Of
happens
course.
after knight takes e4? So, what is the move for white? But it doesn't stop there. So it doesn't stop there. You need to calculate further, and which he does in a great way. So first of all, what is the move for
Okay,
white
wait,
after knight
wait,
takes
wait. Bishop b3, knight takes e4. I'm looking at discovered attack after bishop a7 against
Okay,
rook.
so this is very good, John. So well done. But this is not the main point because the calculation needs to go further.
Of
After
course, I
now
cannot
you-
stop there. I cannot stop there for sure because there's knight takes c3. Yeah?
First of all, knight takes c3, obviously. Yeah, this is
Yeah. That's the
capture.
most obvious resource.
But b takes c3, you can
And
you can
attacking
play-
the knight. This is what I saw, by the way, before bishop
Yes.
a7. I will attack that
and
knight on b4.
that looks fine. Yeah, that looks like you can stop there. You can just maybe look for some other things, but probably you can stop there because knight is under attack, the rook is under attack,
Yes.
and you are gaining. But what is the resource for black? Because Kazakh player was also 2300, so after bishop a7, he should have found, and he found, the resource for black. But, which I'm sure Yağız foresaw before, like as foreseen, and he just out-calculated his opponent. What is the main thing to? After bishop e3, knight takes a4, bishop a7, what's the main thing to calculate for black?
I mean, there's also simply attack. No, wait. Wait. There are moves like rook takes f4, of course. The pawn is hanging.
So
Right.
rook takes f4 is a move, yeah? Because bishop takes
It's a move,
b8.
for sure.
What happens after bishop takes b8?
Exactly. So that's what I'm here right now. Bishop takes b8. I want a rook, but it's black to play, and there are resources like.
Or you can give also check, yeah, with the queen. So
Oh yeah, of course, because the bishop is leaving diagonal. That's
So-
what I forgot.
yes,
Yeah.
you have to see all that. And
Of
now
course.
you have to see rook takes f4.
You're right.
And
You're right.
now you have to find the best move for white in this position.
Exactly, because bishop b8 might be a blunder because queen c5 check, let's say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
And knight f2 check is coming.
yeah, but what is the winning, like, let's say, the best move for white here? But all this has to be seen before playing bishop
Before
e3.
bishop
so
e3, 100% correct.
Yeah.
Seriously, is it like queen e3?
no, not queen e3,
Cannot be
but
the move. No.
rook d4. Rook d4 was played
Rook
in the game.
d4. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Rook d4.
So now
Rook
both
d4
knights
pins
are
the
under
knight
attack.
as well. Both knights are under. Wow.
Yes. And
Cool.
the bishop is still on this diagonal, so nothing happens. So knight takes c3 was played. Queen e6
Wait,
check.
but there's also queen e6 check. Wow.
Yeah. So, and rook f7, and now bishop takes b8. So knight e2 covered. Everything is covered. So rook e1, and after takes,
Okay.
rook f1, here white won. So just, for example, this little instance shows that he can calculate so how he won this position. Yeah, so it is not exactly winning. So let me just open the engine here.
But bishop e3 is the best move for white, yeah?
Yeah, bishop e3 is the best move. Yeah, so here,
Yeah.
the best move. But of course, you need to calculate knight takes e4. But
Exactly.
But
Under the
here-
surface.
out calculated. Yeah, rook takes f4. Of course, he has to see. But now rook d4 again, the best move.
It even gives rook e1, by the way. Can you just go back instead of rook d4? That was.
Yeah.
Of course, I also looked at g3. What if I attack the rook? But then I saw knight g5, which I didn't like.
So rook e1
yeah.
also kind of similar idea, but rook d4 of course it's kind of more sensible.
That's
because
sensible. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
attacking both. So yeah, but just shows that it's a level of calculation at that point. So obviously black should have not entered. Yeah, so black should have seen, but probably black being the kind of not at his level in terms of calculation. So he probably saw rook takes f4 and he just said, okay, I should enter this, yeah.
Yes.
But
yes.
then rook d4 comes and now suddenly
He was
yeah,
out-calculated.
yeah.
Yeah. So the opponent's resource testing, like a scientist, he looks at a good move, but he doesn't stop there. He actively tries to refute his ideas. Yeah.
So he never takes things granted, and I think that's why he's kind of very much down on time. Like when he plays against strong opponents, he just
Right.
calculates twice, 3 times, etc.
Double check.
Double checks things, and and of course, even back then, he was a very, very resilient player. So let me just show you a game. So I think we can start from this position. So yeah, he just played not so good before, and this position is kind of lost. So he just lost a pawn. Now has to play f6, and also there's this very nice pass pawn. So
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
but let's look at how he fights. So he first
So look at
takes
his
rook
resourcefulness.
e8. Yeah, queen c6.
Yeah.
Now exchanging, and g5, very nice move. Just
Yeah.
gain space, dislocates the bishop from f4,
Yep. Important.
and rook e4. So active play, and yeah, just creating some pressure, like a4 now. Yeah,
Nice.
so just
Nice.
always
Yeah.
creating some problems for the opponent.
Yeah.
And now the rook comes to the open
Take the
file.
open file. Yes.
So just finds lots of activity, and now rook a6, and suddenly the pawn is falling. So
Yes.
yeah, of course, White couldn't play his best, but it was not at any moment obvious to White like how he should have played. So I mean,
True.
you can check the game with the computer and find yourself. But
Yeah.
yeah,
2
just
versus 2, same flank. He draws
exactly.
this.
So this was a draw. So also very important is the resilience. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he already
Yeah.
had it in those times. So and still has it obviously. Okay. So yeah, you just first saw some flaws in his play, but then we moved on with some
Present. Present is coming.
but now the present, yeah. So now he has changed. So he first of all matured. So he also like with age, yeah, you develop. So not
Yeah.
only experience, but your brain as a child, yeah. So
Of
is
course.
also developing, and your skills are improving, and the patterns this database in your
Is
mind is
expanding.
increasing,
Yeah.
and now he has become a much more, let's say,
All-rounded player.
all-rounded player. And let me just first of all, this is more in his style. He beat Peter Svidler, so they had also friendly match.
Yeah.
And let me just show you this game to our audience. And this
of
was
course, Grunfeld from Svidler.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not
What do you
like
expect?
so he just sticks to his principles
Yeah.
and defends the Grunfeld. But of course, Svidler is like all-time great player and probably the greatest Grunfeld expert ever.
Ever. Yeah.
But okay, this was probably a weakness in his play also.
The H4 line. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
and now the H4 line was played. So 94. So knight takes
Yeah.
e4, queen takes e5. So black in this way, yeah. So nice c3. So in this way, he just didn't want HG stuff.
Yes.
So and he just preferred to give the knight on e4. And after like in this moment, Svidler made a mistake, queen d8. So the best move was
Queen A5.
bishop
Yeah.
g7, and etc.
Mhm.
But the way he played afterwards is Yagiz punished him, was exemplary, I will say. h5 was played. First of all, very obvious move.
Yes.
Yeah. After, I mean, if you play h4, you have to go h5. Yeah?
Exactly.
So knight f3, c5, d5. All those moves are obvious. But
Our standard. Yeah.
yeah, after e6, now the game more or less starts for White. Yeah, White could have done all these moves without calculation, but
Yes.
now the game starts. So, and the move he played is the best, queen a4. Already not an obvious choice.
Not an
so
obvious move. Yeah.
there are other choices, yeah. So, but queen a4, bishop d7, and then queen f4.
Queen F4. Yeah. This is what I saw.
And after,
Supporting H6 ideas. What's the point of Queen F4? I try to ask myself.
yeah,
It's
and
well
also
guarded,
kind of put the bishop on the d7, which is not
which is not
that
ideal.
great, not ideal,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and after castles, now long castle was played, knight takes d5,
This will be
and
sharp.
already it's just after hg, fg is just kind of over for black already. So queen g3,
The king side is weakened. Yeah.
yeah, bishop c4, and maybe if you want, if our audience wants, they can try to find how white has white is winning. But okay, knight g5 is the
Knight
move here.
G5. Yes.
Queen e8.
Is it rook H6 is coming or what? Okay, let's
exactly.
see.
Rook a6 was
Whoa,
the
nice.
bishop
Rook
e6, rook
H1.
h1 was the finish of the game. So
Cool.
yeah, okay, very kind of easy game for him. But of
Take
course,
the Queen
against-
H4 and then H7 mates. Yes.
I mean, the opening is
After
very
King
strong.
G7, can you show it, Tarık? King G7, just show the line for our audience.
So after King g7, so now we can play rook h6,
Yes, this was
and
the
after
point.
King a6, Queen h4,
Queen H4,
King g7, and Queen h7 is
Queen
checkmate.
H7 checkmate. Cool.
So That's why Svidler resigned. Okay, so this game was kind of easy, but from here it was not so obvious actually how to play this dynamically, make things work. But he found the best, yeah. And it's not like he could have prepared for Queen D8 because
This is not a prep. He plays it
Yeah.
himself. That's
because probably Svidler made this book to get him out of book actually. So
true. Wow.
and he could have, but he just punished him, for just
One
getting
question,
out of book.
Tarık. Okay, maybe you can touch it later on, but this also sort of connects to middle game ideas, in the openings. Like, okay, maybe that's a question for later. How does he study openings? How does he connect those ideas to the middle game ideas and so on?
But so this was a game where he could calculate things. So you can say that, okay, since he's good in calculation, he can play such games, But now I will show you the game against Vachier-Lagrave, and here not so much calculation is going on. So actually the opening he chose is the exchange Spanish, which is not that much known for like kind of calculation kind of stuff. So and recently I noticed that his opening repertoire against such players, of like Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is, so an elite grandmaster. Like he likes to keep things simple, and because he knows that they will try to do something, and then he tries to punish them, and this is the approach.
So he just keeps it simple, and the opponent will take risks, and he wants to punish them. That's the
kind
thought.
of. I feel I feel like that's his approach. Or that's the approach recommended by his coach, Mehmet Yarov. Probably, I don't know. But it worked very well because Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is a dynamic player, so it's not his forte, like to play
With those end games.
these boring end games. But of course, it was not Yağız Kaan's style as well. But
No.
now he changed, so now he can play these things. So rook e8, knight e6, rook e6. Already in this position, White has a kind of big advantage. It might not seem like that, but
the knight on a6 is quite bad. Better structure.
Yes, knight on a6 bad. The bishop also
Doesn't
not so
do
great.
much. Yeah.
And so in exchange Spanish, what is good for black? Mainly
The bishop pair.
the bishop pair,
Yeah.
But here you don't have the bishop pair as well. And
Good
more
exchange.
importantly, you don't even have f5, a kind of liquidation move you kind of employ to decrease the pressure of this pawn majority. So, and the pieces are in wrong square. So now Vachier-Lagrave tries to correct
Plays
it.
for a5. Yeah.
Yes, but now
g4 is so nice. Prophylaxis.
And of course, you need to see, okay, when you play a move like g4, what happens after g5? Which
Right.
MVL did, because it will be pretty sad after f4, g4,
That's it.
f4.
That's the point of g5. Yes.
But now g5 tries to stop. Okay, here you need to see, okay, f4.
Right. He must have seen this.
Knight goes to g8. Knight f3. So f6 was played to kind of control, but e5. Very nice move. To open up all these squares.
Activating the pieces as well.
And more importantly, now we have the majority here. So
True.
2 versus 1. And here the main disadvantage of the black setup shows, So this was,
Tripled pawns, double pawns. Yes.
so these double pawns, this is the whole idea of the exchange Spanish. So
Yes.
if you can reach some endgame where you can have your majority on the king side to turn into a pass pawn later, black won't be able to reply in the same manner. So there won't be a black pass pawn on the queen side. And now he's just finishing the job. So he just pushes the pawns
Just
forward.
pushes the pawns. Yeah.
And a little bit of calculation required in the end, maybe. But
For sure. Yeah.
this is nothing like he could not have done. So, and the game just was over after some time.
It's
So
amazing. Yeah.
very high level, very simple game for the first of all. That like you can just
Yes.
play through it and like who is this opponent? Like it doesn't look like a 2750
Yeah.
player, something like that. But to be able to play such games against such grandmasters already shows that your positional understanding is very, very high. So
True. It makes it look easy.
and he couldn't have done that when like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So so in that respect, he improved a lot. And but okay. So this is a game he played against Fan First, but let me just maybe let's not show a lot of stuff because maybe audience will get tired. But one game which amazed me was, but I knew that he can play like this. Yeah, it didn't amaze me in that sense, but that he could outcalculate Erigaisi, and yeah, this is maybe his best game ever so far, I will say.
Yeah.
I don't know
Let's
if
see.
probably you have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
of course. The famous exchange sacrifice. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So this
yes,
is the
yes.
game.
I love the
which was
game.
recently played in Vachier-Lagrave, so Tata Steel, and
Yeah.
okay, all this was his preparation, I think.
Can you rotate the board, please, Tark? So we
yeah.
see it from the black's perspective.
Sure. So here e3, that was the preparation of Yağız, and after f3, knight f2. Now all this was kind of known by him, but yeah, I think around this point he was on his own, I will say.
He's dropping the pawn on d4. That's a pawn sacrifice. Yeah.
But okay, he's getting the pawn on c5.
Temporary pawn sacrifice. Yes.
So after bishop takes e3, okay, long castle, you can find this move because it's with tempo, yeah.
Yeah.
So knight c2, again, obvious move. Rook e8,
yep.
Very obvious move. But
also
after king f2, now this was, yeah, for those who have not seen it already, maybe
please
you can
stop the video, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just an amazing. Like how he
I felt Petrosyan came back from his grave, you know. So this it was so nice.
I mean, it is in the sense that it doesn't. For example, if such a move will be winning, yeah, maybe that will be easy to find.
Yes.
But this is not obviously winning, so
yes,
the game just goes on. So that is what is really hard. Yeah.
That's what makes this game very special. The long-term effect.
Yeah, and to continue in this with the same precision afterwards. So
yeah.
So knight b4. Knight
b4 was important first.
Yeah, knight b4 was important.
Yes.
And after knight a3, now rook takes e3. So knight takes e3.
True.
And bishop e6.
Otherwise g4 will trap the bishop.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and just very slowly, yeah, just because there is not an easy way to get out of
resolve the pin. Yeah.
Yes. And so which Erigaisi tried to do with d4. So after rook takes d4, now king e1 he played. So
right.
By giving a pawn, try to do that, but rook takes d1, knight takes d1, and knight takes
one more pawn.
One more pawn. It's been captured, and now black has very nice compensation for the exchange. Actually, we cannot even say compensation because white has 5 pawns, black has 6, so black has one more pawn. But material is more or less equal, kind of. But
black has a bishop pair.
Yes, black has the bishop pair and potential pass pawns on the queen side.
Yeah.
And the way he played afterwards, again, amazing. b5, obvious move, but also positionally justified to
limit the knight.
Limit the knight. Also, you know, we have to push our pawns because these are our main assets in the position, so we need to push them.
Multi-purpose move.
And after knight takes c3, again a4. So didn't waste any time to push the pawns. Very good.
True.
Now king has come.
Bishop c4.
And another very important moment was this. Let me just go through this. Bishop g5.
Right.
Bishop f4, king e4, g5, and now h4. Erigaisi also didn't play wrong or anything. But now he tries h4. And here Yağız was already very much low on time. I was watching the game live. And he was down to 1 minute or even less. And I was kind of afraid that he won't make the concrete decision here because you can easily go h6, for example.
h6, yes, is a candidate.
Keep the things as they are, yeah. And this could be tempting when you are low on time, not to take any concrete decisions. Yeah. And also, when you see that, for example, h6 just keeps the position as it is, and maybe there is less risk there, etc. Maybe you can go for it, yeah. So maybe 2 years ago he would have chosen maybe h6 in this position.
Time trouble for sure. Yeah,
time
makes
trouble
sense.
Against a much higher opponent, higher rated opponent. He might have gone for this, but now he went for capturing the knight and
then take on h4.
And very committal decision because now you gave your bishop pair. Okay, you took one pawn, but I mean maybe this can be captured. Who knows? Yeah. So maybe the king will come and get or maybe the rook will come. Yeah. So when you are so much low on time, it's not so easy to be sure of such a move. But he did it, and it was completely justified. And now he has these two
distant
pass
passers.
phones
Yeah.
and also potential connected pass phones, which is just actually finishing the game, which he did in a
Very
nice
clean
style.
way. Yeah.
Even in time trouble, he played all the correct moves and he just beat Erigaisi. So he
Amazing
out
game.
Erigaisi, let's say. I would say.
Because that guy is a very he's a calculation monster
Yeah.
himself. So yeah.
So
Amazing.
this just shows that his level is already his rating is still lower than his actual level. So I just
Right.
think that now he will play against Topalov in April, and
Yeah, there's a match, Yağız Kaan versus Topalov match in April, right? Like a
Yeah.
friendly match as you did against MVL. Cool.
exactly. So and I just expect him to go above 2700 quite soon, and slowly gain some ground in that list of 2700s also later.
Tarık, it felt like we just looked at a game of a future world champion here. This was an amazing display against Arjun. It almost felt like, as I told you, we saw a Petrosyan game, which brings me to this question. Does Yağız Kaan know his chess classics like we did? We were book nerds ourselves, you know. Does he know his chess classics, old world champions, Soviet masters, and ideas that was distilled to our modern age?
Well, I would say he got exposed to some, obviously. Yeah, you can never do without consulting anything. So, but it's much less than ours, I will say, at our times. So many times I noticed that he didn't know about some famous grandmaster from the past. Maybe not like world champions, obviously he knows, yeah, but.
Yeah. Like
Players like
Boleslavsky.
Boleslavsky, etc. You know, those guys who never became world champion or even candidate, but still have their place in chess history. So one would expect that he knows, or any chess player, to know about them. But this is just our concept, because nowadays many actually elite players also, if you ask them, they don't know much about the old players, old greats from the past. And actually, I must say, okay, so first of all, it's a kind of pity that they don't know about them. But second, to develop, you don't actually need to know about them as well. So,
Right.
because first of all, the old books and stuff, they kind of are not correct on many things. Yeah, on some things, of course, on many things they are right, but there are a lot of points where they were wrong, and actually this can be also a disadvantage for you. So I remember, for example, Evgeny Romanov, he kind of told me once that Yağız doesn't have this burden of being raised in a kind of Soviet school system, you know, and that might work well for him, because that old system, and you need to learn these, bot winning, and their approach, and all this positional play, and typical things, etc. But these might be limiting, because now the engines are finding a lot of things in what was considered to be right. Yeah, so that turned out to be wrong now. So you need to have this free mind, let's say, and kind of be skeptic of the past. And if you have never seen it, of course you cannot get this dogma from the past. So then you can find best move in a position where actually the past grades would have misled you in that position.
Yeah. His brain is not conditioned so much from that old dogma. He can think independently.
So I have, for example, I have a position, so I can just show you.
Please.
So this is, for example, there's the book of Bronstein, David Bronstein.
Zurich 1953.
Exactly, and
our chess Bible.
So everyone just claims that this is their favorite book and stuff. It's not favorite book of mine, by the way, but
No.
I can say that okay, it's a good book, obviously, mainly because of the games in it. Yeah, so they were very nice games.
Yeah.
And let me just, I have the book here, so here is the book. So just
Look
to
at
show.
that, guys.
And now this is the position from the first round already. So and
Max Euwe
it's
and Alexander Kotov. Yes.
exactly. So and what should you do here as
As white.
white? Exactly.
You know what I'm looking at? First thing I noticed here is black will sack the exchange on the next turn with rook takes
Yeah,
e3.
exactly.
Now that idea became so ingrained in my brain, also as a chess coach, yeah, typical ideas in middle game, that, rook takes e3 is just screaming to be played for black right now.
Exactly.
So there's a positional threat I'm facing. I must do something as white to stop that. So any move that stops that is probably okay,
Very perfect. So well done. So you have better understanding than the past.
Yes.
Yes, you should go bishop f4, bishop g5, bishop d2, any of these moves.
Yeah, I know my
That's-
classics, man.
That doesn't allow rook takes e3. But now I will read from Bronstein's book.
Okay.
So there is this commentary after queen d1. The move in the game was queen d1.
Oh, okay.
And here he comments, white prepares the decisive break, b2, b4. So, and which black prevents by giving up his rook for the bishop.
No.
And
Wow.
okay, but
Okay.
so this is just to prevent, first of all, just to prevent b4 according to Bernstein,
Right.
which is kind of wrong. But
Yeah.
second thing, he doesn't give any more comments, and then the game is won by white. And you have this kind of when you read the book, for example, what will be your what will you gain from this? Yeah, you will probably think that queen d1 was a very good move.
Was a very good move. Was a very good move.
Rook takes e3 was a desperate attempt.
Desperation
by black
attempt.
to prevent b4. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
very
actually, it
instructive.
is black who is better here, and
Wow.
black's only mistake came at this point by playing rook e5,
Rook e5.
and which led to the loss of the game. But again, this was left without any comment.
Untouched.
Yeah, untouched by Bernstein. So
This is so instructive, Tarık. Perfect segment you found, by the way. You're an amazing teacher yourself. Like, that really tells.
yeah. So when you read these old books, we have to be very skeptic. And when you're, I mean, they are very useful still, obviously, but they are useful only if you just criticize them. And one thing which I didn't talk about, but now that I should mention this, Yağız himself, he didn't respect the authority. So he didn't respect the authority of Romanov as well. So
Really?
also in the camps, for example, he was like Romanov asks some position, for example, and he just, for example, says, okay, he says, for example, c4, and the move turns out to be something else. But he defends his point, and
Insists.
he insists on his point, and he just he just shows variations after that, and he doesn't believe sometimes simply because he insists. And there were quite a few moments I remember that actually what he recommended was the correct, like at least as good as what Evgeny asked him. So
Amazing.
he found all these things, but he was always this. He had this disrespect for the authority. Yeah, and
That's, by the way, I saw it myself firsthand, but also I heard from many coaches. That's what separates the best from the very good players, Or that sort of predicts chess strength to my mind. This questioning of the authority and, not of course in non-objective way, but to your best ability. Try to prove your point, Like not accepting everything directly out of hand just because the stronger player told you so, That's an important skill to breed as chess players.
yeah.
Thinking manually, for sure. Yeah.
Also, of course, he beat Romanov even at that time when they were playing Blitz. He beat him heavily. Yeah, so he was a very good Blitz player. Still, of course, he's very, very good. But even then, he just completely demolished Evgeny in Blitz.
Even at that time, and that's very impressive. By the way, Tarık, a question, because people had this idea that Nakamura became really good by playing billions of Blitz games. Do you also see the same trend with Yağız? Did he also play like so many Blitz games in his youth or even now, online
Yeah,
Blitz.
of course, he played a lot of Blitz games, and actually, like, I think it's quite useful if you play Blitz games. I mean, when we were kind of, let's say, 13, 14, etc., there was ICC, Internet Chess Club,
Yeah.
and I also used to play there. And it's kind of good training if you play Blitz, because first of all, yeah, it just provides some opportunity to play chess. I mean, which you will otherwise not have being alone at your home. And the second thing is you see a lot of patterns in your games. You play hundreds of games, and you can, yeah, you just are exposed to a lot of patterns, tactical stuff, which will come handy in similar positions in your practice. And another thing is obviously the openings. Yeah, so if you play some opening line, and if you just get some experience, even by playing Blitz, this is quite useful. So I would really recommend all players to play Blitz. And this is a very, very, like, the recommendation against Blitz, I don't really share. So I think
Even for amateur players, beginners, you recommend Blitz chess.
obviously, yeah, just play chess. Yeah. So what is better than playing chess? So it's, I don't
It's an
know,
opportunity
any
cost,
other
of
thing.
course. Yeah, but I mean, we are talking about a control study, yeah? Like if you have like 4 hours a day for chess, would you play 4 hours of Blitz or would you do other stuff? That's a basic question, obviously, yeah?
Yeah, of course. So just by playing, even I will say, I can claim that even just by playing, you can improve a little. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but obviously, so not the whole time should be dedicated to Blitz. But Blitz is, yeah, something you should have, definitely. So this should be, or not necessarily Blitz, of course. If you can find a classical tournament every day, go for it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but this is not in our real life. It's not possible. So, and Blitz is a good attempt at getting some training just by at playing. And
Yeah.
but I will say, yeah, half the time maybe Blitz, half the time play, I will say, and the other half to study, to solve stuff and study chess. And this half time Blitz, I will say, you play the Blitz game and then do a quick analysis and see where you have gone wrong. And so this is included in that Blitz time, I would say.
Yes. And you felt Yağız has been implementing that ever since he started chess. In the current modern age, of course, there are so many options to play online against stronger players, and he still does that probably.
Yeah, he does that. He plays on Title Tuesday and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, he has also a busy schedule, which, but he plays on chess.com. He has sparring partners with whom he plays. He checks his opening repertoire, etc. All this is quite, ordinary stuff for chess professionals. So
Yes,
how they
day and age, at least. Cool. But we'll talk about maybe opening an endgame later on. But here, actually, let's talk about kids versus adults, Tarık, yeah? Let's talk about expertise also, because you're a teacher to kids also as well as adults across all these years. So you have some experience, first-hand experience of how people improve at chess and what are the potential advantages for kids, let's say, yeah? Let's maybe talk about maybe brain plasticity, maybe fearlessness, challenging the authority, as you already mentioned, maybe pattern absorption speed for kids, maybe just merely free time to do whatever. yeah. What explains, do you think, this difference
I will
between
say here the best, like the most impact has like the free time. Yeah, so adults don't have the time to study chess. So I mean, when I learned chess at the age of 7, I was going to primary school, and my dad taught me, and he got me a book, and I could work like after school when I came home, like which was kind of maybe early afternoon at that time, and then I have all the time to myself. So, and I could study chess if I wanted. Yeah. So and I had this time, but when the adults, they don't have this time. Yeah, they need to work. They have their jobs mostly, or they do some stuff. So the responsibilities in life kind of force you to spare your free time, or let's say you don't have much more free time, but also in your free time, maybe you need to take care of your child and stuff. So, you have a lot of responsibilities. So first and most important factor is the time, I will say. And the second thing, yes, I will say there is something about the neuroplasticity as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just learn faster when you are a child. And the way you absorb the patterns is much more efficient than. So, for example, if you work 1 hour as a kid, maybe you need to work 2 hours as an adult. So I will say, so to have the same kind of benefit from your work. So but you have even less time than the kids. So this is the main difficulty in improving for adults. But if you have the time, I don't think that it's impossible to improve to a very, very good level, even as a beginner, even when you are above 40, let's say. I think you can still improve your game a lot. So if you have the time, if you can dedicate yourself to chess work, why not? Like, yes, it will be more difficult, but it is possible. So yeah, so I would say most important factor is the time. The second, yes, there is something about neuroplasticity, but I think it should not be. It is not as limiting as people think. So I think the adults who really put some work into their chess, they really improve. So yes, I will say there is a difference in speed, but it is not so impossible, I will say.
Yeah. Tarık, you're a perfect guest to ask this question because you're an adult improver yourself. You're almost age of 40, and you recently got your final international master norm. Big congratulations, by the way, once again to you, my friend. I was following you. So tell us a bit about the challenges. I mean, you waited for many years to get the final norm, and your aspiration is still to become an international master by reaching a certain rating level, right?
Exactly. So now I finished my norms, and I want to become international master by going over like 2400. So if I get that rating, I will become international master automatically. So now that I've fulfilled the norm requirements, so all I need to do is to increase my rating, but this is actually the hardest
hardest parts.
So
what is your current rating once again? FIDE rating.
Now my current rating is 2246. So my best was 2342, which was I don't know, some years ago. But then I dropped, and now I have to increase my rating again. And I will say I was kind of I was playing a little bit irresponsibly. First of all, my style is kind of always striving for a win.
Right. Very relentless energy and for win.
Exactly. So I just want to win. Against any opponent. Doesn't matter who I play against. So even let's say tomorrow I play against Magnus Carlsen,
still I will play for the win. I have no doubts, Tarık, about you.
Exactly. So yes, but okay. Actually, I need to be more balanced. So I need to be aware of my own limitations first of all. If I want to improve, first I need to understand myself. So where am I lacking? And I have these flaws that, for example, technical positional positions kind of bore me, or I will strive for a win, taking some unnecessary risks. So and this I should not do, first of all. And the second thing, my opening repertoire. I don't have an opening repertoire basically because my opening knowledge is close to none. So there was recently there's this chess-based player report, a style report. I don't know if you have seen it. And I checked myself, and it shows that opening theory is 0% or something.
Really? So, I haven't checked it myself. I should check it. Okay.
So, but
it's sort of how does it work? It sort of looks at all your games and try to find some pattern in a way that whether certain moves are repeated in a way that shows a repertoire of some sort, or what?
The style report, you mean? Yeah.
How do they?
It just, for example, looks at the percentage of the end games in your plays, and it just calculates your end game affinity, for example. Or for example, it checks your openings, and if you don't play the theoretical moves, then you are not like your opening theory is low. But if you play highly theoretical lines,
I see.
I don't know. Maybe there is probably some limit. First 12 moves. Something. I don't remember exactly the algorithm, but people can check. And mine is close to 0, and there is also risks. So risks is 130% or something. So it's
Wow.
actually a quite correct characterization of myself.
That's quite accurate for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now I want to increase my rating, but I need to be aware of my flaws and I need to improve on these subjects. Yeah, so I need to have an opening repertoire. I need to work on my openings. I need to play more theoretical stuff, and I need to I need to be a more balanced player. So, and this is what I will try to do. Yeah, I didn't do it that well, but I noticed that when I played, for example, in Poland, when I got this final norm, that whenever I play a more or less balanced game, where I know I'm not so bad positionally. Actually, I'm a good positional player. But my calculation skills are not to the level that I can afford my style. So this is my main problem. So if I have this dynamic play, yes, I can. I'm also good at seeing those dynamic opportunities, but these opportunities need to be backed up by precise calculation.
Accurate calculation.
Yeah. But now, whenever I play some game where, for example, I was defending and the game is more or less, there's nothing crazy going on, I had actually very good scores. Yeah, I beat 2400s, etc. Consistently.
Yeah.
In those kind of play. But whenever there was some dynamic opportunity, I saw it. Yeah, I saw the correct opportunity and I jumped on it. But then I didn't have the calculation skills required for it. So I need to improve my calculation. Maybe not as much as Yağız, yeah, because I cannot solve hundreds of puzzles every day. But I need to solve some puzzles at least, yeah. But 10 is better than 0, or 20 is better than 10. So whatever you do, you need to work on that direction at least a little bit more, yeah. So that's how your improvement will start. So, which I will try to do myself. And yes, and the thing is, I now try to approach chess in a more balanced way. That at least try to play such a, let's say, long game approach. Yeah, so that the game is long and you don't force the game. Yeah, so you just keep things and wait for the mistake from the opponent. So to be able to play such chess is also very important for success in tournaments, and to have more stability also in your play and in your results. Because with my old style, or even now, I can say I'm still such a player. Yes, I can win a lot of games, but I can lose also a lot of games. So, and then you have this problem of stability in the results. So I can gain lots of points. I can get international master norm, even grandmaster norm maybe, but I might suffer, like I might do something horrible in the next tournament. I might lose 100 elo. Yeah, so this is not good. Yeah, so you need to have this kind of
stability
balance
and consistency.
Yes,
and playing a long game approach. Okay, so you identify the areas which sort of were already there probably, but now you're more goal direct because you already got the final norm, so you're more ambitious right now. You're more motivated to finally get the norm by reaching 2400, which is not, is not the easiest thing in the world, of course, but given your experience in the chess world, you're a coach for how many years right now? Like more than 10 years mostly, yeah, Tarık? So
around 10 years, yeah.
Around 10 years. By the way, you were the sort of one of my role models, guys, in case you don't know it. Yeah, Tarık was already a chess coach, like professional chess coach, when I was still doing my PhD studies. Actually, you came to my wedding in Turkey in 2018. I was like, I was showing you to my friends, like, this guy has my dream job. He's the chess coach, and maybe one day I can be like him. And you sort of inspired me, Tarık, to choose this profession in the long run. And given your experience, given your students have improved under your guidance, right? It's like we sort of know the remedy, the medicine. But of course, it's a whole different thing, yeah, to be able to consistently apply the medicine on ourselves in the long run, on a consistent basis, to have the like self-control and patience, even, yeah, to keep doing things consistently for the reward. So if you reach it, you need to come back to my podcast.
Yeah, but first I will play in some tournaments in April. hopefully.
Yeah.
So that's my plan to play in Grenke, Karlsruhe
Oh,
in
you're playing in
Germany.
Grenke. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and
Yeah.
right after it finishes, the European Individual Chess Championship will start in Poland. Because it's
Yeah.
in Poland, I have to go there, I guess. So I will try to do my best in those two tournaments and see if I can get my rating to 2300 back, or maybe a little bit even more. So, and then from that point on, I think by choosing my tournaments wisely and also train myself consistently, I might get to 2400. So it's like kind of a year plan, let's say, for me to get to that level.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you just kind of teleport me to 2400, I can play at that level. But
Yeah.
to go to 2400, I need to perform at a level of 2500. Yeah. So
Right.
now from my rating,
Right.
or so, because at least to do it in a short time. Maybe in
Yeah.
a long time, yes. If I perform at a 2400 level, I will get to 2300, etc. In a slow way, I will approach it. But I want to do it in a rapid way. So to do that, I need
Yes.
to perform at a higher level than 2400.
Yeah.
No.
Again, that's a whole different discussion, Tarek. We'll need to talk about this again for sure, for adults especially, like how much improvement is possible. But cases like you, even like Selim Çıtak's case in Turkey, really shows that this is possible. If you do your best, if you have a constant plan, you can improve as an adult as well. Which maybe we can tie it to Yağız Kaan in a way that psychologically it might be an issue as you get closer to 2400. This maybe feeling of some pressure will be felt on your shoulders.
Yeah. I can
How do you
tell
think
something
Yağız
about
Kaan?
this.
Yeah, please talk about chess psychology here.
Yeah, because for example, Yağız was trying to become the youngest grandmaster, but yeah. So I will say I don't want to mention names, but people might figure, of course. But not all of these youngest grandmasters have achieved their norms in a let's say correct manner. So and but Yağız tried to do it through honest channels, let's say. But he was lacking he had everything to become grandmaster. He was already playing at a level of grandmaster, but he didn't get the norms still. And I think a big part of it was the psychology, because the moment he lost the chance to become the youngest grandmaster, he got his norm, and then the norms followed. So a big part was this psychology that there were some times that he missed the norm by a half point, for example. So and also for me personally, for example, in my last the tournament, I got my last final norm. I started tournament really well. I had I think 4.5 out of 6. I started, and I was playing against 2400s all the time, and I was half point behind the leaders. Yeah. And I was even playing to win the tournament ahead of many grandmasters even, and I got a winning position the next round against a young Polish international master, 2489. But then I just crumbled in that game, and I lost from a winning position. Then next round I lost again, and then I needed to. So if I had won that game, I would have gotten the norm just with 2 rounds to spare.
Yeah.
I was actually if I had won that game, I will be aiming for grandmaster norm. Actually, my rating performance will be about 2600. But I lost that game. Then I lost the other game, and then I came to the final round by needing to win with black against an Indian international master, 2380.
Wow. And you did.
And I did, yeah. But the more the closer you get to the norm, there are all kinds of these thoughts entering your mind. Because you are so close to achieving the norm, it kind of builds up a huge psychological pressure. And eventually during the game, I got to a position that, I think I'm objectively right. I mean, my opponents could achieve a draw. Yeah. So, and I kind of said to myself, okay, it didn't happen this time. Yeah. So, but I will just
You gave up already, and then
I will
you
keep
turned
on
it on.
playing and I will try. Yeah. So, and if
Yeah.
there will be an opportunity, I will take it. So, again, this long game approach, but I already mentally gave up on the idea
Yeah.
of the norm, and then I succeeded. Yeah. But when you think about the norm all the time, you cannot really perform well.
It's amazing, yeah? It's totally about this, chess psychology. You have other thoughts in your brain that fights for the working memory slots, that brings you away from the game, from here and now to what's going on in this current moment and so on. Yeah, like everything that takes us away from that is probably not a good thing for our chess success and results.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you think, again, big question, of course, is Yağız Kaan working with a chess psychologist or a sports psychologist? And do you think that might be one of the determining factors for him to become a world champion or maybe missing that title in the future?
Yeah, I think he has every potential to become world champion, and of course, but yes, psychology is one important thing. I mean, even back then, he began to work with a sports psychologist, and I'm sure he has one nowadays. And this will be very important for him because there are some aspects in his play that, for example, time travel. Yeah, so this double checking himself, his calculations all the time, and he would need to have a little bit more confidence in his calculation in himself to not get into these time troubles. Even though he is an amazing blitz player, you cannot really rely on blitz all the time. Yeah, so
reminds me of Alexander Grishuk,
exactly.
Time trouble addict.
Yeah, Grishuk is a fantastic player, but he didn't become world champion. But he has a lot of he's amazing player, but his main weakness has always been the time travel, and so that could determine his if he fails in future. It could be possibly one of the reasons, the psychology. Obviously, let's also think about this. How are the prodigies made? So, as I said, only through hard work. Actually, like just witnessing this firsthand just made me realize even better that prodigies are made. Yeah, so they are not born.
They're not born.
Yeah. So, and but there is a cost at like this process because as a child, for example, you go to school, you play with your friends and stuff. So you have the social aspect in your life, which is important because we are social animals. Yeah. But in order, here is one kid who works for 10 hours a day, on chess, doesn't go to school, etc. So all kinds of such stuff, and this might create a burden on your psychology. So, and this needs to be compensated with other factors like family, by having some friends maybe, or a psychologist. And all these are not so easy. So to have this balance in things, even at such, because we know a lot of people from chess history, most famously Bobby Fischer, for example. Yeah. So to become this prodigy and one of the world's best chess players actually has a cost also in other terms. So where you spend your energy, mental energy, you are also getting it from other things which your psychology might have required. But you need to find these elsewhere, and you need to be able to compensate for it and to achieve some balance in your life and in your psychology.
Maybe you don't know enough about his family circles, but that also was one of my questions to you. Like, do you know, he's well supported by his family, I guess. He's homeschooled, right? He doesn't go to school, basically. Or he goes, but maybe they're fine with him not to attend.
Of course, as in the case with all the other players, elite players, the school kind of tolerates his absence.
Yeah.
And so this has been the case with
for a long time,
all the players, and none of them had a normal school life because working.
How many games he plays per year?
Yeah, I mean, if you play 150, 200 games, I don't know, a year, like when will you go to school? Yeah, so
you have no time.
And also, when he doesn't go to school, he needs to study chess. So again, it conflicts with the school. And so it's just, yeah, there is no school or anything. But he's well supported by his family, I would say. Father is mainly managing stuff, yeah, so he's the kind of the manager. He's also used to be the trainer as well, because but mother is there for the support, yeah, so mother plays the supportive role, and they're kind of helping him to achieve his success. So
so well said, Tarık. The chess psychology parts, surrounded by good people that are wishing good things to you and supporting you in times of failure as well as success, is so important. And I just watched a Polgar documentary on Netflix, like prodigies, and lots of comparisons, of course, also with Judith. And he broke her record of the youngest 13-year-old ever that played the game. At the age of 12, Polgar was stronger, but from the age of 13, Yağız Kaan has become the strongest player ever that played this game. I mean, that's a big burden on your shoulders, yeah? Now there are more expectations. And I felt the same thing in Vachier-Lagrave recently. He was doing some amazing results, and then everybody starts talking about him, right? And then he lost against Gukesh, and a couple of rounds actually just slipped,
Levon Aronian, he had every quality to become world champion. He was an amazing player. He was very creative. Maybe one of the most creative ever. And he could calculate. He was fantastic positionally. Like, he had every aspect, but somehow he just couldn't make it through the candidates and become a candidate, first of all. And and it's unlikely that he will also do in future. So, and he couldn't become world champion. But but of course, he's one of actually all-time great player. If you just look at his playing strength, but he failed in that department somehow. Even though he's very balanced guy and stuff, he psychologically he just couldn't manage the candidates somehow. So being world champion is a very, very rare thing. Yes, there's just not so many players have become world champions. So
for sure,
you need to have lots of luck as well. Because candidates is one tournament which happens every 2 years, and you have to be successful in that tournament. You could be successful in 10 other tournaments, but if you fail in that one, you will still not become world champion. So it will also depend on all these factors. Even Magnus Carlsen maybe could have not become world champion.
Imagine, that critical candidate, in 2013.
Imagine in 2013, had Kramnik not lost that final game against Ivanchuk, maybe he would not have got through the candidates, and who knows, maybe the next candidates tournament. So maybe he would also fail. Like, and few such failures, and then maybe you will develop some mental barrier towards this tournament, and then maybe you might never make it through, even though you are such an amazing player as Magnus Carlsen is. So it will depend on a lot of factors, obviously, but mental thing is one of the important ones, because all these players at that level, they have the ability to calculate fantastically well. Their differences are so small,
so subtle,
that in one department, like a little advantage in one department might cause a big difference in results.
And he's well supported financially, I guess. He's a sponsor. He's a private sponsor, at least. That's not the concern.
He's a private sponsor. A Turkish businessman is sponsoring him, and he's well supported financially, and his sponsor arranges also these private matches against elite players like Svidler, Vachier-Lagrave, and now Topalov. So so he has this financial support required.
That's important as well. You said talent is raised and not born. Let's talk about talent a little bit. Like prodigies are raised and not born. Let's talk about talents in the final segment of the show, Tarık. Like, it's a multi-dimensional element, of course, talents. So there are probably lots of factors. How do you define talent in chess? Can we call Yağız a talented player, talented person? And if that's the case, then how would you define talent? I just want to listen to your explanation first before maybe I can dive in to describe my take on it.
So Okay, let's. Talent is, as I said, now for me, after especially maybe I was thinking more in terms of talent, but now I'm just more thinking in terms of work. Yeah, how
Yeah.
much did you work on chess? So this is the most important one, because you might not be an all-around genius. Yeah, but still, if you had worked a lot on chess, like I don't know, 10 hours a day, let's say you work or 12 hours a day, like Fischer did, you will still become a very, very good player. Yeah. So I will say the role of, let's say, what we call talent, or usually we kind of match it with like we think like of talent like as intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or kind of like we think of it like this IQ score if it comes to chess, obviously. Yeah. But this is not correct actually. First of all, the work is much more important. I will say, for example, yes, you need to be intelligent, obviously, and if on, I can say maybe most people misunderstand this correlation. First of all, the kids who are interested in chess tend to be higher in IQ, so this needs to be understood. Yeah, above average. Yeah, so because it requires certain mind set, and first of all, you need to like chess. You need to like the problem solving, and this only happens if you are maybe above average. Yeah, so I will say at least in for problem solving, which also IQ tests are mostly measuring, and but for example, this in itself is nothing. So yes, you can be above average, but you can still play chess horribly, as witnessed by the games Magnus Carlsen plays against
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Let's not talk about him these days. Or trash him.
Yes. He's mentioned in other aspects.
He's a dipstick. Let's cut this part. Yeah.
Anyway, so so what makes him a talent is actually the amount of work he put into chess, and this is how he got his calculation skills, and this is what made him a talent. I don't know, like, yes, if you have this extra, like, extraordinary intelligence, yes, it will be helpful, obviously, in some way, but it's never it can never compensate, or it can never outmatch the hard work. So yes, the first and the most important talent is the ability to work. So if you can work, this is the talent. Yeah. So if you can work 10 hours, can you work 10 hours? I cannot work. Yes. I lack this talent. Yeah. If this is a talent. So this is the talent. Yeah. So if you can work or not. So I might be intelligent, but it doesn't matter. So can I put 10 hours into chess or not? So or if I get bored of it after 2 hours. So this is the thing, which is the single most important thing. And in Yağız's case, especially, I noticed that the importance of this hard work, because how he calculates fantastically all these variations, and in his mind very deep. I mean, it's not like you can be, I don't know, you can have 200 IQ and you can do this immediately. Yeah. So you still need to put in that effort to get this chess related pattern recognition and calculation ability.
Yeah. That's also Kasparov's definition, by the way. He called, ability of work hard as part of a talent. So that's already shared. So Fischer was wrong because he said, I'm an all-around genius who happens to play chess, right? Because he called himself and he could be good at anything basically with like minimal effort. But he was chess champion because he's a genius per se. On the other hand, that sort of outscores or the how much he worked on chess, how much he actually practiced chess, right?
There are many geniuses, obviously, and also some of them played chess. Yeah, Albert Einstein, for example, but he didn't become world champion or something.
Obviously.
So it's much more important that you work on something on chess than your actual intelligence or all around intelligence, let's say.
International master Fernand Gobet, you know him as well, yeah? So he's a cognitive psychologist. He wrote so many articles on chess, expertise. He came up with the spaghetti model of expertise, which basically means like so many feedback loops, everything is affecting each other. It's not, one thing determines everything. Yeah. So he calls them like there's talent element. Let's say a general cognitive ability that we mentioned. Yeah. So pattern absorption speed, for example, processing speed that might differ between people. That differs in population, of course. That's one element. Then the second element he calls practice, namely training. Yeah. Generally, he also cites some studies that there was a big difference between how much people put in training in reaching a certain level in chess. For example, there was 8-fold difference between people in that study. Argentinian players was tested. Some groups needed like 8 times more time, practice, to reach a candidate master level than the other ones. That sort of means that training alone is not the whole story. Yeah, and that's how it sort of becomes controversial slightly. So there is this cognitive element. Even cites Carlsen, by the way. He says Carlsen didn't need so much time to reach the very best level in the chess world. A little bit controversial, but might make some sense. But I think what separates his model is that everything is affecting each other in a way that if you're already talented to begin with, then you sort of tend to get good results in chess. Then this affects your motivation to work on chess even more, right? And even put more time in training. So it's like a butterfly effect, like maybe it starts from something small and then it gives some results. And results, actually, we know that good results, good feedback is a huge element to increase motivation of keeping on working on that thing that give you good results. So then the whole cycle begins like that. Yeah, everything is affecting each other in a model.
Yeah, obviously. So the results you gain also at an early age, maybe thanks to your higher cognitive ability, might also end up in motivating you for working harder than the others, and then you achieve more. Which in Yağız's case, for example, he became the European champion under 8, and from then on he became a name, in chess world, let's say, for his age group at least, and then that motivated him, his parents, his family, etc.,
to put more resources,
to take chess more seriously. Yeah. So yes, I agree. I agree that the cognitive ability has some effect, obviously, but I will say this is not the main part of the story. Still, the main part should be giving to training and the work you put in.
For sure. And that still at least explains, 40, 50% of the results generally in other fields of expertise, It's not, 100% of the story. That's all I'm saying. It definitely explains a lot, but there are also other factors which sort of connects to that.
Yeah. Imagine Mozart, for example. Yeah. Was a prodigy himself, but his father, Leopold, was a musician. So,
right.
And Leopold just forced him to do stuff as a small child. So it is thanks to his father, Mozart became Mozart. So he was not like born as a musical genius. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's also, it seems like there's a developmental timing element, which might be important. Again, there are more studies that is read here, but that's the only study, the Argentinian study I just mentioned from Kobe, sort of found that if you start chess before the age of 12, then you have a much higher chance of reaching international master and above than if you started after the age of 12. They sort of found this demarcation line of 12 might become a critical age. Of course, it's all continuous, not like a standard certain point of time, but that might also one side of story. Early starters generally tend to do well, which is not a surprise, of course.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. I mean, also thinking in neurological terms, so it's kind of expected that you have more chance to succeed. But also, I would say a lot of other factors, because as a grown-up, you have more responsibilities, more distraction in your life. I don't know, you will have girlfriend, for example, after the age of 12.
Yeah.
So, like,
of course,
there are many other factors, maybe which are not even controlled in the studies. Yeah. So,
right.
And, for example, now, I was a big time reader as a child, and I still read. Yeah. But I kind of miss those reading moments of my childhood, because I was so immersed in reading in my book. Yeah. Now I don't have that much immersion in the book I read. So back then
Yeah.
I was not even hearing people were calling my name or something. So
Yeah.
I was reading that
Same here.
that's concentrated. But
Yeah.
now I cannot reach that level of concentration. So it kind of shows that I mean, why I cannot reach that level of concentration? Because I have just, I don't know, sometimes some WhatsApp message comes, for example, or
We are
there is
distracted.
a lot of that's distracting factors.
Yeah.
So it's also about other things in life. Yeah. So chess
Yeah.
is part of life, and sometimes they are in conflict. And mostly they are in conflict, chess and life.
Right. That also comes easier for kids. I 100% agree. Yeah. 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 Although maybe things are changing, these days with social media, WhatsApp, TikTok, Instagram. Does Khan use any of this, by the way? I hope not. I hope he's
Well,
not like binge watching TikTok.
yeah, I don't remember. Of course, he does some, but
Yeah,
not much. Yeah. So
that's
and he's a
important as
chess
well.
professional, so he needs to be like a chess professional. So he
Yeah.
needs to work on chess every day, and he just needs to keep tight to the schedule. And because he has goals, he's not Anish Giri, for example. So Anish Giri can
Yeah.
enjoy life now. So of course, whether he studies for the candidates, I think he's playing.
Of course, he is a real goal right now, concrete
So, but
candidates. But yeah.
But anyway, other than that, he can enjoy life more. But Yağız is
Yeah.
still has high goals and ambitions, and so he has this goal, and I'm sure he's working towards that now, as we speak. He's probably studying chess somewhere.
He's very much disciplined, and he's following a certain training regimen per day, right? Like hour by hour. Like how concrete is it? His daily routine. Does he have some freedom to do whatever, or just you do this and do that for certain time blocks per day? Do you know that?
I don't know that, but probably when he was a young child, this was set by his father, and
Yeah.
Selahattin Bey, and that's his name. And he just had this in his mind. Let's say, I don't know, solve 100 puzzles, and
Right.
on Lichess, and then they were solving together. So he made sure that there was some kind of structure in his training, and play, I don't know, half an hour blitz. So he had this kind of structure enforced by his father as a young child. And I don't know now how much he keeps his training to a fixed schedule. I don't think there is. I think there is some room for him now to do whatever he likes.
Yeah.
But probably there are some things he must do still. Probably he's working with his coach every day, or every 2 days. He's working with his coach probably for several hours. Then probably he has some sparring partners, and he reviews his opening repertoire. So he has lots of opening files, and he needs to review those. And probably he does all that. But I don't know how much fixed it is.
Okay. And opening work is is given by seconds, let's say, as trainers to him. Yeah. So
I mean, when he was working with Evgeny Romanov, Romanov was providing the opening files to him. So hundreds of opening files, maybe close to 1,000 opening files he got from Romanov, as far as I can remember. And now he's working with Mamedyarov, and Mamedyarov and other grandmasters probably are helping him in that area. So they're providing him with opening repertoire, opening files, which he can employ in his games. And all these ideas are given to him, which is,
right.
Kind of important, because if you do your opening repertoire work yourself, and you also play, this is not easy.
Yeah.
Very time consuming, very also mental effort. When you play at a tournament, you need to spare your mental effort to playing itself. Like, you need to have this energy, spare energy for the game. And having these seconds provide that, and they know what to play already, and they are given by the seconds. They need to review their files and then go to the game and play that over the board. So that's how
Yeah.
real professional is. We are amateurs, so we just have to
Exactly.
do our own work
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah. Or we can get a good Chessable course and, if it's already
Yeah.
nice and all the ideas are there, why not? But everybody has that. That's the problem.
Yes. So Chessable
Yeah.
courses, very nice. Obviously, if you don't know anything about the opening, just go for a Chessable course, review that repertoire, and learn it, and then you will succeed at a club player level, or even higher. You have every chance to succeed with those repertoires. But obviously now, at Yağız Kaan's level, some special work is needed. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Chessable repertoire can only be a starting point for him, and he needs to find what is missing there, because there are sometimes things missing,
Of course.
and also what can be improved. And he also needs to study those, because if he plays at a tournament against 2200, the 2200 might play,
We'll know.
I don't
Yeah.
know, Gieri's Knight of Repertoire, for example. And now he needs to beat that repertoire, yeah? So he needs
Right.
to have something in his end. So his work is a little bit more complex. But if you don't know anything about the opening, yeah, just go for a Chessable course and learn it, I will say. I also try to
Yeah.
do something similar myself.
I mean, things have changed, right, in the current times. The opening theory has evolved and engines have changed everything. Now most lines are playable, it turns out, if you
And if
really
you want
use
to
the
learn
engines. Right?
positional play, go and buy Mr. Kabadayi's courses.
Oh, thank you so much for this little segue and shameless self-promotion, guys. Thank you for your kind words.
For example,
I
you want
just
to learn how to exchange pieces and which
the art
exchanges
of
are good
exchanging
and which exchanges
pieces.
are bad,
Yes,
or
yes.
short calculation and
It's
two
all
move
waiting for you.
calculation.
Wow, you know all my courses. That's great.
I'm a big fan of your courses, so I like
Thank
them,
you so
and
much, sir. Yeah,
I
yeah.
bought several of them myself. And
Really?
just
I didn't know that, Tarık. That's amazing.
So you owe me some
I
dinner
owe
or
you.
something.
That's why I call you today, to give back, sir. But I have no doubts that if you one day sit down and write a chess book or course, Tarık, I think it will be amazing work as well, because I know you have always been talents when it comes to writing in general, but also chess writing. You used to write in our blogs, in our university team, an amazing blog post yourself. So, I mean, you're a great reader yourself, avid reader. So I have no doubts if you one day have the discipline to become a chess author, let's say, you will produce amazing work. So
Thanks.
keep it in mind.
Yeah, I have this project which I got through a chess publisher.
Yeah.
Because there's a chess publisher in Turkey, Alper Feltaman, who is also
Of
a
course.
friend. And there is this series of world champions, and there I was commissioned to write a biography of Max Euwe.
Yes.
And so which I hope to do eventually, but it kind of stagnated for a while. So I hope to proceed with that.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe I will come up with a book, and I was thinking of also coming up with a course based on Euwe's games. And
That would be fantastic.
so
Yeah.
to have several aspects of, all aspects of chess, yeah, not positional dynamics and calculation.
The whole part of
The
chess following a model player. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's amazing. That would be an amazing book, Tarek. We should have a different episode once that's there. If it's enough motivation for you to come back to my episode and
Hope so.
and
But
discuss.
first, okay, and now I have also this ambition to become international master. So
Oh
we should
yeah,
give
now
that
there
priority. Yeah. So
of course
and
conflicting desires.
yes, and I also
Yeah.
teach chess. So I have students whom I
Right.
coach. So
Right.
all of those, to do all of that together is not always easy. And especially
course.
if all of them are about chess, then you kind of like, if
You have to choose.
chess, from yourself. It's like, let's say you taught chess for 5 hours, 6 hours a day, and
Yeah.
then you don't have you don't want to look at the Lichess or something to play
No.
a game yourself. Yeah, so
I
So-
know.
they are
Yeah.
also in conflict with each other. I would say
Right,
that
right.
I hope to manage them all together.
That would be amazing. By the way, that brings me to Turkish chess culture. Do you think one part of Yağız's success can be attributed to Turkish chess development across the years, let's say compared to the last 35 years or so, yeah? Would you
Yeah.
say that that sort of reflects generally chess being more popular in Turkey and governmental support, let's say, across the last 20 years or so? Or is it like a one singleton case that is sort of not really closely related to chess culture?
No, this is, for example, in Carson's case, it was just completely a person's like random success, let's say, yeah. But in I think Yağız's case, I think it's just part of this development of chess in Turkey because chess during our childhood, chess was not a school subject, but I don't know how many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, maybe a little bit less than 20, maybe 15 years ago, this chess became a school subject in Turkey, and many primary kids at primary school age or even kindergarten, which in Yağız's own story, it was a
Yeah.
teacher at his kindergarten. So then you get, first of all, you get to know that there is the game of chess. Yeah. So first you need that. Yeah. So you need to learn about chess at an early age. So, and at 5, 6, 7, maybe you need to learn about chess. And because it's a school subject, so now many kids learn about it, and that increases statistically the chance that a player like Yağız will come up. And Ediz, of course, we always talk
It is as
about
well
Yağız,
from Bursa as well,
Ediz
from the
Gürel,
same city.
also
It is
from the
Gürel.
same city, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is part of this chess development in Turkey. Because why did I get involved in chess? Because my dad knew about it, and he just decided to teach me. So
Yeah.
it was nothing about the structural issue. Yes, so it's just because I
Random.
was lucky because my father taught me. So
Yeah.
my father knew chess, and he taught me, and he got me a book. And the books we had were also like, I don't know how many books in Turkish there was, but like you can at most 10 books you could buy
Kahraman
from a
Olgaç
bookstore.
series. Yes.
Olgaç series, and also Capablanca's Chess Fundamentals, which was my first book.
Same here,
And
by the way. Yeah.
so Capablanca was my favorite player at that time, and I was
Me too. That determined my Karokan as an early age, Kappa style. Yeah.
yeah, and so, but now, okay, first of all, chess literature is still a bit lacking in Turkey, but now, first of all, this publisher I mentioned, he made a good job in translating a lot of titles.
He's doing excellent work. Alper
Yes.
Ataman. Yeah.
And also, like now, you don't really need chess books, yeah. So you have everything online, which is also a very important factor. So once you are exposed to chess in some way and you learn the rules, you can improve yourself on your own online through online resources.
Yeah.
As well as now lots of coaches, yeah, in Turkey, because again, too many kids have learned and they want to learn more. And now so there's also kind of economy now around chess.
Yeah.
So all that kind of makes it possible that players like Yağız or Ediz,
To emerge.
show up in
Yeah.
the international arena now from Turkey. And it will, I think, continue. There will be more players coming.
Yeah. That's what you're seeing as well as a coach. You see those young kids and the potential they have.
Yeah. Like in the lower age groups, like there is a huge amount of competition, and they are playing at a good level actually. So I think some of them will eventually become grandmasters. So because remember, in our childhood there was only one grandmaster.
Yes.
Atalık.
I remember those days.
It's only
Atalık was
already
the only
mentioned.
one in Turkey.
And now we have
So many things have changed, right, Tarık? What an amazing change, like in a country like Turkey, to have this amount of change in terms of strength improving in the population.
Yeah.
Also, as you said, part due to it's introducing it as an elective course. It's not a must course, right? You can choose chess in the primary schools.
Yes, you can choose chess. Yeah, it's not a must.
It's not like obligatory, but you can choose. Also, the quality of training, as you said, has improved with online resources and so on. That also probably explains.
I never had a coach myself, for example. So only, okay, I was going to school, and there we had this kind of extra curricular stuff going on once a week. And some Turkish FIDE masters, Selim Gürcan, he was coming every week on Thursday. We had these 2 hours with him as a part of extracurricular activity in school.
Yeah.
But that was it. Yeah. Other than that, I didn't have a private coach or anything. But Yağız Kaan worked with other coaches. We need to mention them because they are working in Bursa, and they are, of course, they need to get the credit for Yağız's success first and foremost. And Necmettin Korkmaz and Ervin Özkan.
Ervin, I know as well. Yes.
They are doing a fantastic job in Bursa, and they worked with Yağız, I think with Edis too, because and they are they need to get credit for Bursa's prominence in Turkish chess.
They are really ruling the chess circles. The city called Bursa, right? It's like a hub. Was it like the fifth biggest city in Turkey, Tarık? You know better. It's a big city, not as big as Istanbul or Ankara, of course.
Yes, so fifth, maybe, fifth sounds like correct, yeah. So definitely not top 3, but either 4th or 5th. 5th probably.
That keeps producing chess prodigies.
Yeah, before
we used to play there. Do you remember our university team days in Bursa? Yes.
We played at this because they have a nice ski resort, let's say, and but in summertime there was this chess league where we played with our club. It was nice time. We had
good old days, Tarık. Good old days,
and good results.
Iskender kebab and good results.
Exactly.
Tarık, it's been an amazing pleasure to have you today. Thank you for sharing your stories with Yağız, your chess improvement tips that you gave to us. Thank you for coming today. And I will even leave your Lichess profile for people who might like to contact you for coaching. Guys, as I said, he's 10 years coaching experience, Tarık Selbes. You can contact him on Lichess and maybe you can get some lessons, if he has time, of course, given his workload. Yeah. Thank you once again for coming, Tarık.
Thanks. It was my pleasure to talk about Yağız, and I hope that he will achieve more successes, higher successes in future, and there will be more to talk about him, and also personally about my successes maybe
as well.
But even if not, I will be more than happy to join your podcast anytime. So just let me know whenever.
The only strange part is that we talk English today. Otherwise, I tend to talk Turkish with you. It's always a pleasure to have you.
It's a little bit strange, weird, but exactly. Maybe we will get used to it. And
I think we managed well today, given how different this was from our daily routine. But it's always a pleasure to have you, my friend, on my channel. I love your T-shirt, by the way, Pink Floyd, as we both are Pink Floyd fans.
I wore it especially for you because you are also a Floydian, so this is a common love we share.
Yeah, common love,
both
guys.
love chess and Pink Floyd, so
also shows our age, Also shows our age.
Yes, I have but I'm sure that some in our audience also are
for sure.
Fan, so
that's a thumbs up, guys. Shout out to you if you're a Pink Floyd fan like us.